Hello everyone, Kochi here again, and welcome to the fifth fail level art time-lapse. This one will be the longest time-lapse in length so far posted on this channel. It has like 28, almost 29 hours of footage, and this footage was split between like two periods I was working. Half of it was from few months ago, similar to the last time-lapse I just posted, and the remaining half is from this new wave of work I'm doing together with the new posts on the channel. Excluding the final walk around of the final result of this time lapse, there's kind of around like 1 hour of footage after speeding it up by 20 times. I tried to cut a lot of the footage similarly to my first attempt on the last time lapse. I think it helps a lot in reducing the extra bloat or times I'm just like doing nothing or stuck or looking at my reference and so on. But I could have probably cut in more footage, but then it's a lot of compromises. I don't know if I should cut it or not, so I just didn't a lot of it. And yeah, I guess it is what it is. But from the last video, I enjoyed the reception. A lot of people said that, oh, after watching it, they were very motivated to work on their own maps and projects and things like that. And I'm very happy that it inspires you people. But one thing that I'm gonna say that happens here on these projects to me is that I'm never really inspired to do any of this work I'm doing right now. Like I could I don't even can remember the last time I was inspired. Every time that I get to work on something on this map or other projects of mine, I am not really that inspired. I think, yeah, the last time I was inspired doing something, I think it was the vehicle, the car I done for the first video on this channel, because like I really wanted to model a car, on that car specifically. I think that was the last time I was really excited to start something. Otherwise, I just always have to push myself to start working because I never really want to work because these things are hard. It takes time to do like uh, the editing on this video itself, the voiceovers, the proper map work. I never really want to start working because it's just so much work. You keep thinking, oh, it's so much that I still need to do. Like, oh, I need to do this 30 hours of work just to get a building done, and then after that I have to cut the video, edit it, and then speak over it. It's just so much work. But thinking this way, you don't really want to start working. So that's why I have to push myself to start working. But the deal is, usually, mostly for the map work, because I'm not a video editor for a reason, right? That's not my main thing for a reason. But when I'm actually mapping, when I push myself to start mapping, after some time working on the things, after I push this initial resistance that my body puts me through, I actually start having fun. But to get to this state, I guess there's multiple levels you could say about it. There's that deep focused state that you don't care about anything else going around you, like you forget to drink water, you forget to go to the bathroom, and so on. Like you're working for hours on end and having fun. I guess that's like the deepest flow state you can reach, but there are some other levels between that. But after pushing the initial slog, it usually tends to be quite fun. You just it's a way for you to forget things. So I'm never really inspired. I just wanted to say to you guys, have an idea for your own projects. Maybe you're waiting for some inspiration to start working, but I say the opposite. You just start working and then the inspiration comes. Yeah, that's what happens to me. Like I'm always having fun once I push this initial barrier, and I can sometimes even get to that flow state that is incredibly enjoying. But it always has this difficulty in the start. But to get to these in the states that you enjoy more working, you have to set up the ground for it to be able to happen. So that would be the planning, like you know what you want to do, kind of, you have your references kind of figured out, you know exactly, oh, I'm gonna work on this. Sometimes if you don't have any of that preparation, it's harder for you to go focused on something. What matters here is the focus. If you're focused, things will get done. If it not, you'll go wandering around the level. You're not quite sure what to do because there's always so many things to do that you go insane if you like try to find something. So ideally, you just find something. Oh, I want to do this. Then plan around it and start working. That is already some sort of preparation that will help you to break against this resistance. And then once you do that, you can reach this different levels of flow state and make your work actually enjoyable. And it's enjoyable because you get stuff done. So that is one half of the preparation, preparing how what you're gonna do and how you're gonna do it. The other half is actually having the environment around you in real life be set up so you won't get interrupted. Uh, the problem of getting interrupted is that it makes you always come back to this initial state that is like getting some speed. Let's say you are in a car. Always, every time you go on a red light, you have to stop your car, and then to get it running again, it takes some effort. It's the momentum, as I've mentioned on previous times on this channel and other videos as well. The momentum is important because uh, if you're running, it's easier to keep running. But every time that you have to stop, so every time you get interrupted in your work because your environment isn't set up properly, it gets you to the beginning again. So knowing that the hardest part is really just getting started, just pushing this initial, oh, I don't want to do this, it's so much work to be done. Like if you push this part, it the rest becomes easier and easier. So you have to make sure that your environment is set up in a way so you don't get distracted, don't get interrupted the best you can. Because every time you get interrupted, you go back to this ground zero, which is the hardest part for you to get out of. A simple distraction might seem like, oh, it's just me looking at something for 1 minute or whatever, but it's way more time that you lose than that. It's an unseen time. Like this is just something that you can see, but behind that, there's so much more time that you lose because making yourself harder to get into the flow state. That is when you're actually having fun. So for setting up your environment properly, I guess that's really a personal matter. You have to try many things, see what works for you or not. But usually having kind of a routine, you could say a ritual before you work that makes your body go into work mode is really already one of the greatest things you can do, while also eliminating most of the distractions. So that figured out, you can then just push this initial hurdle that is getting started, and with the proper things, it should be easier and have less of it. So, and then you start working. You don't want to do it, but you start working, and with time, you just start doing things, and it goes and it flows naturally. And then you blink, and a few hours have passed, and you enjoyed, and you did something that you were proud of. So that's what I like from this. I always come not wanting to work, but I push myself. Of course, it's not always like that. Sometimes you just try to push yourself, but maybe it's not a good day, or you just didn't put enough effort, and sometimes, yeah, it doesn't go well. But other times, when it does go well, it's really awesome. So I just wanted to put that out of the way, based on like so many people talked about that on the previous video, like, oh, you inspired me, and yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm never really inspired to the work. I just, well, push through it, and I get inspired along the way. I hope that can be helpful for any of you that are watching, and yeah, I think that's it on this matter. Moving on, I think I'm just gonna say before you ask yourself, I'm not gonna comment on many things about the actual work I'm doing here because I've talked about most of these things and concepts and things I do on previous videos, because this is kind of just the repetition part. I started this video with mostly just doing some clutter, like doing gutters, pipes, adding detail to the stores from the building I've done last time, adding chairs, all those clutter things, and those are just spread out around the map. There isn't much to it, as I've said on the other video. Once you have the structure set out and the main work done, it's easier to just do the clutter because it's just putting things on the on the floor. It's kind of like decorating a house. You have the house already, the structure. You just put the furniture on. So this is similar here. And now you're seeing me starting some new house, a new building on the out of bounds area. But again, it uses similar concepts from what I discussed. Like I did some rough blockouts with whatever texture just to have an idea. I had a reference before I planned, and yeah, it just went naturally and it looked decently enough to me. So this kind of just repeats itself here on this video. If I find anything else to comment on that regarding the actual work, I'll say it. But I think that's about it for now. Now on to another topic, similarly to the first thing we just discussed about motivation, is you watching this video probably is into the CS Counter-Strike mapping scene, so you maybe have seen some videos from this guy called Timur. He does some very interesting videos about mapping as well. And he had done a video, I think, on his own map regarding if he got included into the game or not, like if Valve had seen it and that thing. I'm not sure exactly if it is that video, but it's a recent video of his where he talked about mapping and that it's like one of the worst hobbies you could have because you get like very little return on the investment because you will spend like months and years doing a map sometimes just for it to often just get like trashed on the workshop. You don't even get to play it. Like if it's a 5v5 map, for example, it's very rare that you actually get, oh, let's get 10 people to play our map. Like even if you have friends, they probably won't want to play your map, you know, because I want to play this too, right? So uh, actually, it was on his video on like he made an island map, a specific island. Well, it's it's definitely something. You spend a lot of work on making maps, and most of the time if they do not get added into the game, it just falls in the workshop. Some people play it, but if it's a 5v5 map, it's like almost certain that you will not get like you won't get to play your own map properly or enjoy it and so on. If it's a wingman map, I guess it's easier because sure, it will be a lot of work. You'll be spending most of the time like months to get a good, decently done map, and then it's easier to play since it's like 4 people. But I get his point, but I disagree with him. And then this gets into that odd cliche stuff, but for me at least, mapping should be something that you enjoy while you're doing it, like the actual journey. It's like, oh, enjoy the journey, not the end result. I think this applies to me on mapping. Of course, getting a map released and it being added into the game and seen and so on is awesome. But if that's the only thing you're doing, I guess that's wrong. Like it's not the ideal. Then you get what he said there that oh, it's like not the most time cost effective hobby you could have. But like yeah, you spend so many months doing mapping, but you have to enjoy the process, and I enjoy it. So I don't think it's a waste really. Uh, I've said I have to push through this initial me not wanting to do work, but once I get the work done and you see your map progressing months of after months, like you spend a few hours on a single building and then you get the building done, and then that repeatedly, it gets better and better. Like that's what I love from mapping. It's something that you create over months. It's like it's hard to push yourself through this, and that's why anyone that releases a map, like gets a map done, you have to put a lot of respect into it. Every map will have flaws. My maps have many flaws. I suck at many things, and other people as well, and that's fine. Just getting something done is like the most respectable thing because it takes so much work, and if you do not enjoy this process of getting things done, like over time, like the failures, the repetition, uh, the growth that your map has on real time across these months, I think it's really hard to have this as a proper hobby you have. But both of these topics I already discussed. This momentum thing of like pushing against the initial resistance of your body to get the inspiration after you start working instead of having the inspiration and then getting to work. And also this matter of enjoying the journey and not the end result. Both of these things, like this, knowing that and appreciating these things, it takes time if you're not used to it. Like I'm got to this state, and of course, I oftentimes do not get work done when I should have been doing stuff. I do not push through. Sometimes that happens. At the same time, I'm working on something, but I'm not actually enjoying the process, because both of these things are something that is hard, and that's why again making maps and these projects are hard, but it's built over time. You have to grow into loving the journey because you've done it before, and oh, each building you do is a big win. Uh, each time you sit down and actually get work done is a win. Like that is what is cool. But yeah, you have to push it every time, and it accumulates over the months you work, the years you work, and then that's what you are, your personality regarding your own work and career on this mapping and I guess art or work in general. But now coming back to the map stuff that I'm actually working on. Uh, I'm doing this house right here, but the part of the clutter that I did was putting the curbs and setting up the streets around the exteriors of the map, based also on that comment I made on the other video that, well, I want this map to get done quickly, and for that, if my brain thinks a lot of the map is already done, it will be easier to finish the remaining things I need to do. So I thought, well, I'm gonna focus on doing all the outer bounds of the map first, because then I'll just have the main map, and the outer bounds can seem like very work intensive because, well, it's so many buildings and so many things, right? So on this video, I placed the streets around, started doing the skybox. I set up the ground for me to just make buildings quickly all around the map and have less of them. So I get this outer bounds part done quickly, and then it's just the smaller part of the map that I actually need to work on. The clutter and the indoors part of the house. And since it's a wingman map, it's gonna be small, it's gonna be way less work. I think this outer bounds is uh, actually, I haven't gotten to these parts I've just mentioned, the in-map parts much, but I do think that the outer bounds is probably the most work intensive, maybe. I guess in I don't need to have as many custom assets on this part, so that's one thing. But for the indoors and the actual map, I'll probably have to spend more time working on assets, and that's what's actually gonna take the toll there. I need to make a model of a van, a new custom van, a lot of custom pieces just for the museum because the indoors part of the house has many things. It's supposed to be a museum, and in the playable space has to have more unique stuff and details. I guess that's why I like the outer bounds because you have so much freedom. You're not constrained by the level design. You can just, well, put buildings there. They do not need to have as much detail, and they seem like they do a lot of difference in making the map feel alive and like a real place. So I'm always loving, always loved working on outer bounds, and I guess those are many of the reasons. For these houses and buildings I've been doing, I haven't had to make any custom new assets. I just have been reusing assets I've done or existing assets, and they look perfectly passable. So I'm just building a backlog of assets. I do need to do custom ones, and then I do them when I'm on a period that I'll just focus on them. It's again that a matter of momentum. If I'm always like working on map stuff and then going back making assets and then going back to the map, kind of breaks the flow of it. So that's why I spent in the beginning of the project so much time just making a lot of assets so I could build that whole main house, which I did. And then now I have kind of enough assets to do these outer bounds. And then I'm needing one asset here and there, so I'm noting that down so I can then tackle them at the same go. So I'm just focused on like making assets for a period, and currently this period I'm just making this out of bounds building. So in this specific video, besides the clutter that I've already done, the roads that I expanded towards the outer bounds of the map, I just did this house, which I'm doing right now, and then another building, both around the T-spawn area, which was quite empty before. Again, there is not much to be said here. It's things I've said before. So uh, I'm gonna already say in advance regarding the other building you do after this house. It's kind of like an office, a mixed-use building. You have stores on the floor, the ground floor. It's a more modern building, but then you have the residential units on top. You'll see it in a few minutes after I'm finished this house. But the new thing that I'm gonna mention regarding the building is that it has some big windows. Like it has not these smaller windows that I've used on this house, which I'm doing right now, and the previous building I've done. Those ones are actually quite big, and some of them you can stay quite close to in the actual playable space. So I had to take a different approach. I have been using so far some opaque glass windows and also that parallax corrected uh, windows from Italy that had the curtain and gives the depth effect. I was not able to use that on this new building I'm doing because it's just the windows are too big. It looks weird. And at the same time, uh, if I were to use it everywhere, think even at different scales, I guess if the windows are all smaller, it would be fine. But the windows there being big, uh, like from the ground almost to the ceiling for a regular livable height space, it's just I had to take a different approach. That parallax glass wouldn't work, and a regular opaque glass would not work as well. So for that, I actually modeled an instance that is the interior, like a kind of a standard interior unit. It's just a room with a door, a flat door texture, and then I copy pasted it into each of the windows that you can actually see from the map. Some of the windows that are like barely seen, I then just put an opaque glass on the windows. But most of them is just you have this fake interior. It's just a regular room with no much sense to it. I then just placed actual physical curtains on those windows and did the furniture on these rooms. On the upper floors, it wasn't actually needed to put any furniture as you can't really see it from the glass that is in front is translucent, but it does mask some of what's behind. So I just had to put furniture on the lower floors. I did a few bedrooms using the single bed asset that you have, but then I did some wardrobes, different desktop setups for computers, some living rooms, dining rooms, and it looks decent, looks good. Like it's refreshing because it's not often that you have these fully detailed interiors. It's not fully detailed, but you could say it's not just a opaque glass, just a flat window. It have something behind the window that is actually real, and it gives a really cool effect, especially since you can get very close to these windows. I um, I think the result was quite nice, and you'll be able to see it eventually. So uh, the last thing I will mention is that I'm doing all these buildings right here at the edge of the map on the actual map file, but eventually I'll have to do a balance of what I actually place or not in the 3D skybox. So I save on optimization and regarding also light maps on the main map, but that will come later. So I think that's all for this video. I can't really think of much, but there's just so much footage left still. So I'll leave you guys with this, and then I'll come back to the end result, showing you guys how it looks. So thanks for watching this far, and hope you enjoy the rest of the video and the end result. Goodbye.
Set your body free. is what I need. Never late to fantasize. Now it's time to realize nothing else is what to talk about. Let all bad things of your mind out. Run away, come, run away with me. Here's the key, take, set your body free. 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 I can't imagine
is on my team. You feel like I'm Catherine. This is how to be machine.
So here we are at the end result. These two buildings we did. I need to figure out a way how to block this street on the playable space eventually, but not a problem for now. I did put that bush there, planter space, as a way to block on the railings. The wooden material on the facade of this building, this new building, is placeholder for now. I'll probably need to make a custom one, a blended one as well. Also make the planks poke outwards a bit. This playable space I am right now is new, with this new version of the map. I ended up having that. I might just leave it as playable space for you to stay on top of the glass. But with that comes new angles to consider, and I actually end up tweaking it on the further time-lapse. The next time-lapse you'll see, I'll ended up lowering that roof you can stand up on. So by now I'm just looking at the little things I've added over time, how the whole thing looks. Being an artist, most of the time is just looking at things and saying, does this look good, does this not look good? And it's not an exact science, that's why it's art, right? But usually you can point out something, you just can't say why exactly it looks bad, but here there's so many angles to consider when you're making something. Like that building, the taller building I did, can be seen from across the map in many different ways. So like inside the house, from the top of the roof on this same house, from both of the spawns. So many angles to check, and you can't really consider all of them while making the art sometimes. But that's why blockouts can be useful. This part here is really important to consider. There's a lot of detail that will be seen from high above this roof, so I'm always coming up here to see. But I think that's all with this video. There really isn't much I could say. I think I couldn't come up with much to say. Many would be repeated from previous videos, so please let me know what you thought. This video was kinda a lot of footage to speak over, so I prefer to not speak over it if I didn't have anything really valid to say. So I hope you've enjoyed this far, and see you on the next time lapse.